Yesterday I got in some brass rod. I got 12 feet of brass rod in 3-foot sections, and I just cut them up into 1¼ inch sections. Would you believe that is 12 feet of brass rod? And it is, because I cut it up myself. It's actually 12 feet and about 6 inches, because you can see the different color here. The darker one, I've had about 6 inches in my storage here for a little while, so I went ahead and cut them up into 1¼ inch pieces. That's hard to believe. That is 12 feet. Hard to believe. Okay, let me, Cav Trooper Munoz gets his blade heat treated here. Heat treated and tempered. And while that is going on, probably going to grind the bevels on Mystery Buyer's knife. And then by that time this will be done. I'll temper it and start working on my paracord wrap. This will be the first one I've done, so it's going to be trial and error till I get it right. That is 24 feet of 1/8 inch brass pin. 24 feet. It sure doesn't look like it. And that was about an hour's worth of standing. And same for the 1/4 inch. That was about an hour's worth of standing. And yesterday, I got all these, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all these knives cut out and cleaned up. And that was about 6 or 7 hours worth of standing. I am done standing. So I still haven't heat treated this. That is the next thing I'm going to do. And I'm not sure I'm going to do anything after I heat treat and temper it. Because, well, actually I can do everything else from sitting. I was going to grind the bevels on this, but I need to be fresh. So I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to take my drugs and do it first thing in the morning when the drugs are working good. Pain meds. So yeah, I'll do that tomorrow. I'll do a much better job when I'm not hurting. And this I can finish it up sitting right here. So another sip of coffee, and we're going out to the forge. All right, we are out of heat treat, out of temper. I got it cleaned back up, and I am fixing to attempt my paracord wrap. I'm going to cut about, I'm going to cut probably 4 feet off of this and melt the ends so they don't fray. Probably 4 feet is way too long, but I don't know for sure. So, all right, let me go do that. Cut 4 feet off, melt the ends, and come back and give this a try. That was a lot more work than I thought it would be. Many thanks to Walter Sorells, because this is his, well, I watched his video. I watched a bunch, and his seemed to be the one I could do. And what I did was wrap the handle. I pulled the guts out of a bit of paracord, and then I wrapped the handle with that, and then I wrapped the handle and did my paracord knots, and that's what it looks like. So I'll tell you, this was as much work as wood. And I got one blister there, and I got another blister that will be coming up right there where that red mark is on my pinky. Paracord, I've done paracord before, and I've done some interesting knots a while back, a few years back, several actually. 2014, 2015, I made a Warhammer, and I paracord wrapped the handle, and I did a really interesting knot. I can't even remember what it is, what the knot is, or I would have to go back and watch my own video to learn how to do it. But all right, next step is the Kydex sheath. Let me get to work on that. Okay, now I sort of sketch out where I'm going to be cutting this and where I'm going to be putting my grommets that hold it together. And that's next. Let me get that done. All right, here's how I do it. I drill 2 holes, and I put my grommets in, put them on this little anvil, and hammer them in. And then I take my knife out. This way the 2 pieces don't move from each other, and the back mold is exactly where it's supposed to be. I've made the mistake of taking the knife out first and then trying to get these back where they're supposed to be. Big mistake. So anyway, let me, I'm going to roughly shape this out. I'm going to cut it on I'm going to get the knife out, cut this on my saw, drill these last 4 holes out, and then buff the edges on my buffer, and it'll look like all factory edge. So let me get these, let me get this out of here, the holes drilled, and the edges cut off. Okay, let me go put this on my jigsaw, my bandsaw rather. Okay, I'm fixing to go put this on my buffer. That's a good snug fit there. I'm fixing to go buff the edges. Wait till you see how nice the edges come out. Isn't that amazing what a buffer will do? Okay. I'm going to hit this with a little acetone and get my pencil marks off of it. And then put my paracord on it and box it up, ship it out. Thanks, Cow Trooper. We haven't discussed price. You and I will settle up. I'll send you a PayPal thing. But to anyone that wants one of my neck knives with paracord or with wood, this is the only sheath I make for the neck knives. I have 3 colors: flat dark earth, OD green, and black. Those are my only options. And these are $75 shipped, including shipping, whether you want wood or paracord. Because I really save no time or money. Actually, the paracord costs me a little more than a wood, but it all comes out in the wash. Okay, so there we go. This one's done. Well, let me stick the knife in. I'll tell you what, when I put the paracord in here and put the knife in here and have this all shined up with some Armor All, first I got to clean the pencil marks off with acetone, and then I rub the outside down with Armor All, and then cleaned it off, and it leaves a nice, sheen to it. It looks good when it's all cleaned up. I'm almost done. Two more minutes. Well, 10. There it is. All right, I'm done with that one. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to start on the Texas Rumble for the mystery buyer. And Cow Trooper, I've explained this before, but in case you haven't seen the video, what you do is put it around your neck, and then when you get it at the height you want to carry it, you tie a knot back here and just cut off what you don't want, and be sure to melt the ends because they will fray immediately, start fraying. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up and send it to you. Thanks for watching, y'all.